"I want to talk with that young man," said His Excellency the Captain General to one of his aides. "He has sparked my interest." "They've already gone to find him, General. But there's a young man from Manila waiting outside who insists on meeting you. We told him that Your Excellency didn't come to give interviews, that you're here to see the town in procession. But he replied that Your Excellency always has time for justice." The Captain General turned to the mayor with a look of curiosity. "If I'm not mistaken," said the mayor, bowing slightly, "that's the same young man who got into a dispute with Padre Damaso this morning over the sermon." "Another one?" exclaimed the Captain General, pacing nervously across the room. "Has this friar set his mind to stirring up the whole province, or does he believe he's the one in charge here? Show the young man in." Outside, in the hallway, groups of Spanish officials, soldiers, and local leaders were gathered. They exchanged hushed conversations and curious glances. Several friars were also present, though Padre Damaso was absent. They seemed anxious to pay their respects to the Captain General. "His Excellency asks the Reverend Fathers to wait a moment," announced the aide, ushering the Manilan youth inside. This young man, trembling and pale, seemed nervous. The crowd was shocked. "Making the friars wait? Surely His Excellency must be very upset," Padre Sibila remarked quietly. "I've nothing to say to him. I'm wasting my time." "I agree," added an Augustinian priest. "Shall we leave?" "Perhaps we should see where he stands on the matter first," suggested Padre Salvi. "We wouldn't want to create a scandal." Just then, the aide reappeared. "The Reverend Fathers may enter now," he said. The priests filed into the room. Padre Sibila, who was used to being treated with respect, only offered a half-hearted bow, while Padre Salvi, hunched over, bent low in submission. "Which one of you is Padre Damaso?" asked the Captain General abruptly, skipping any formal greetings. "Padre Damaso is not present, sir," replied Padre Sibila coldly. "Your Excellency's servant is sick in bed," added Padre Salvi meekly. "He intended to pay his respects, but he has had the misfortune of falling ill." "Oh," the Captain General exclaimed, twirling a chair on one leg with a nervous smile. "If all of my servants were like Padre Damaso, I think I'd prefer to serve myself." The priests were shocked by this bold remark, but did their best to conceal it. "Won't your reverences take a seat?" the Captain General asked, his tone slightly softened. The friars sat down reluctantly, sensing the tension in the air. At that moment, Capitan Tiago entered the room, tiptoeing, dressed in his finest clothes and accompanied by his daughter, Maria Clara. She entered shyly, bowing with grace. "Is this young lady your daughter?" the Captain General asked, surprised by her beauty. "Yes, Your Excellency, my daughter and yours, General," replied Capitan Tiago with a proud smile. Everyone in the room looked on in astonishment, but the Captain General remained serious. He took Maria Clara's hand and spoke warmly. "You must be very proud, Señor Tiago. Señorita, I have heard only good things about you. Your bravery this afternoon has been spoken of with respect and admiration. I wish to thank you personally for your noble actions." Maria Clara blushed but remained silent, her hands trembling. "You needn't be so modest," continued His Excellency. "It's only right that justice knows how to reward as well as punish. You've set a fine example for your fellow citizens and for your king, and I will make sure to mention your name in my report." At that moment, the aide entered and announced loudly, "Señor Don Juan Crisostomo Ibarra is here, awaiting Your Excellency's orders." Maria Clara gasped quietly, her face turning pale. The Captain General noticed her discomfort but made no comment. "Ah!" the Captain General exclaimed. "Allow me, Señorita, to speak with your fiancé. I still have important matters to discuss with you later." Then, turning to the mayor, he said, "Señor Alcalde, you'll join me for a walk after this meeting with Señor Ibarra." Before Ibarra could enter, Padre Salvi, ever the opportunist, seized the moment to speak. "Your Excellency, I must inform you that Señor Ibarra is excommunicated by the Church." The Captain General cut him off with an air of finality. "I only regret that Padre Damaso is ill. I sincerely wish him a swift recovery, for I imagine a long voyage back to Spain would not be pleasant at his age. But of course, that depends on him." The priests exchanged dark glances as they were ushered out of the room. Padre Salvi muttered, "We'll see who's making a voyage soonest." Fray Sibylla, offended, declared, "I'm leaving immediately." The other friars followed suit, each grumbling about their reception. In the hall, they passed Ibarra. His recent quarrel with Padre Damaso still hung in the air, but no words were exchanged, only cold stares. Ibarra, dressed in mourning for his father, remained calm and composed. The aide signaled him to enter. The Captain General stood up and warmly greeted Ibarra. "Señor Ibarra, I'm glad to see you. I've been waiting to meet you." Ibarra, surprised by the warmth of the greeting, bowed respectfully. "Your Excellency, such kindness is unexpected." "You surprise me," replied His Excellency. "Do you doubt my sense of justice?" Ibarra smiled faintly. "Your Excellency, I didn't expect such attention for someone as insignificant as myself." "Don't be modest, Señor Ibarra," the Captain General responded, motioning for Ibarra to sit. "I've already recommended you to His Majesty for your philanthropic efforts in building a school. If I had known, I would have attended the ceremony myself." "Thank you, sir," Ibarra replied humbly. "I didn't think the matter important enough to trouble you, especially considering your many responsibilities." His Excellency nodded approvingly. "I appreciate your respect for authority. Now, about this trouble with Padre Damaso, do not worry, you are under my protection. I will speak with the Archbishop about the excommunication. However, be more prudent in the future. The religious orders are powerful and must be respected, even if they sometimes overreach." Ibarra nodded. "I understand, Your Excellency." Changing the subject, the Captain General asked, "I hear you've just returned from Europe. Were you in Madrid?" "Yes, sir, for several months." "Did you meet my family while you were there?" "I had the honor of being introduced to them shortly after your departure," Ibarra replied. The Captain General smiled. "So, why didn't you bring any letters of recommendation with you?" "I didn't think it necessary, sir," Ibarra answered. "I've heard nothing but praise for Your Excellency. Besides, all Filipinos are recommended to you." The Captain General chuckled. "You flatter me, young man. But you're right. This country could use more Filipinos like you, educated, patriotic, and thoughtful. Our system of government has its flaws, but with men like you, we can begin to address them." After a moment's pause, the Captain General stood up. "I must leave soon, perhaps in a month's time. I suggest you pack your things and come with me to Europe. The climate there is better suited for someone of your talents." Ibarra shook his head, smiling sadly. "Your Excellency, I appreciate the offer, but my place is here. My family is here, and so is my future." Ibarra bowed deeply and left, his heart full of thoughts about the future. His Excellency watched him leave with a knowing smile, turning to his aide once more. "Today, I've seen how it's possible to be a good Spaniard while still being a good Filipino." As Ibarra walked down the hall, his thoughts returned to Maria Clara. He hurried to find her, eager to share everything with her. When he reached the room where he heard voices, he knocked gently on the door. "Who's there?" Maria Clara's soft voice asked from inside. "It's me, Crisostomo," he replied, his heart racing. The voices hushed, and the door remained closed. "May I come in?" he asked again. This time, Sinang's playful voice answered through the keyhole. "Crisostomo, we're going to the theater tonight. Write down what you want to say to Maria instead." Her footsteps retreated, leaving Ibarra standing there, confused and troubled. He walked away, unsure of the change he felt between him and Maria Clara.